64087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see a sunny sky. Our highs this afternoon will be into the upper 70s to right around the 80-degree mark. Later on tonight, we're looking at a chance of seeing some showers, a chance of thunderstorms. Our overnight lows will drop down into the mid to upper 50s, and then Saturday looks sunny at the high in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor, located at 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, you're listening to ESPN 95.3.
PRX Paris, Fort Smith.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
You're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Caller text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning and welcome. Halftime is underway. It's 11:01 on a Friday. I'm Phil Elson. I am at Baum-Walker Stadium. Matt Jones in the ESPN Arkansas headquarters, along with Christian Johnston. It is a beautiful, sunny morning here at Baum-Walker. And come to find out yesterday, once we got off the air, that as of right now, we are now 5 hours away from first pitch. Instead of a 6 o'clock and have a 4 o'clock ball game. I guess it's supposed to rain later on. It does look like 8 o'clock, about 50% chance or something like that. So good. Let's get this series started a little bit earlier. Good morning to you, Matt Jones. Good to make it to the end of this week. How you doing?
Yeah, man, it's game day. Let's go baseball.
Exactly, game day, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Sunday looks. Hey, they don't ask me any opinions about when you want to play games or anything like that, and they don't make decisions for Saturday. Usually on Thursday or on Friday until Friday's game is done. But it does look like there's a decent chance for rain on Sunday, so this 3-game series could end up getting action-packed into just a couple of days. Here's what we got for halftime today. There'll be no announcement on anything about Saturday until once the game later today is done. But usually you do everything you can to play these games, which includes move them around a couple of hours or compact the 3-game series into a tight window that wouldn't be about 24 hours, but it wouldn't be all that far away from it. And this we got today here on halftime. We've got Neil Atkinson coming in from Betsaris in hour 3. James Teague, former Arkansas pitcher, Teague Law Firm at 12:15. Got a Fish City Trivia Friday question for you that centers on baseball players from the state of Oklahoma, because Arkansas and Oklahoma play each other for the first time as conference opponents in baseball. They haven't yet played in football yet, right, Matt? Hogs and Oklahoma have not played as conference opponents in football, and I don't even remember what the schedule is for next year, but it would feel a little bit weird if you haven't played OU in football by now. And look at that. They're not on the schedule next year either.
Last time Arkansas played Oklahoma in football, I believe I was a true freshman, and we played in the Cotton Bowl. I think that's the last time that the Hogs have played the Sooners in a football clash.
Did it have any added meaning to you? Because it's
Oklahoma just
next
won
door?
the national title the year before. I was getting recruited. I was either going to OU or Arkansas when it came down to it. So yeah, it did. And they had Rocky Kalmus. They had a safety, Roy Williams, I believe, that played for the Cowboys for a handful. They just won the national title, man. They had the Heisman Trophy candidate or went quarterback the year before. Yeah, man, it was a big. We were excited about that one.
Good. Yeah. You know, the first time I ever saw an Arkansas team play live, it would have been the Orange Bowl. I think it was the 1987 Orange Bowl when it was Barry Switzer's OU Sooners against the Razorbacks, and it didn't go very well for the Hogs at all. That's the first time I ever saw Oklahoma. I wasn't up close because I was in the second deck, but it's just kind of odd when you think about and there are rivalries with all of the teams from the other states that border Arkansas. Just think about that here. Arkansas, LSU. That's a rivalry, isn't it? Football, yes. Baseball, yes. Absolutely. Mississippi. Ole Miss and Arkansas are rivals in football, baseball, just about everything. I don't think there's two ways about that. Tennessee, you feel like that? I mean, you played Tennessee almost every year as a cross-divisional opponent. There's been a thing with baseball with these two programs. I even think football the last few years too. Missouri, nobody wants to accept it, but the battle line rivalry is a thing. Texas, that borders Arkansas. That's the number one rival. So it's about time you get something from the state that borders Arkansas on the west. It is about time, Matt. And hey, it's like there's got to be things that happen on the field for there to be real rivalries. You can't just say, you know what? Since you guys have proximity to each other, you're now rivals. Go ahead and hate each other. That's why people don't really buy into the Missouri thing yet. Give it some years, maybe they will. To start winning in football, maybe they will. It's time, Matt. Hey, you've got as many ties to Oklahoma as anybody that I know. That's why it's time for the football teams to play each other, but I'm just excited that now we get them for baseball.
Yeah, man, Oklahoma's always tricky. They're tough. Sometimes they're not as fast. They don't have the speed. I trained with a receiver named Mark Clayton who was at Oklahoma when we were getting ready for the combine. Just a great dude. But they just we always had that SEC speed over them. And now that they're in the SEC, I guess they're kind of catching up.
Well, that's the thing I think that defines their baseball team would be speed, or at least utilization of speed. You know, looking at their team here, and their numbers are quite different when you get into the SEC than compared to out of the conference. I think other conference teams found it amazingly difficult, or out of conference teams, to slow down the OU running game. Best way to keep them from running is to keep them off base, and it's really not a team that's got a tremendously high on base percentage. They earn their way by hitting. They don't walk a lot. So that's key. I feel like the walks were really big to focus on against Ole Miss, because Ole Miss hits a lot of home runs. You just don't want men on base when they hit those home runs. And with Oklahoma, you keep them off base because you'd really just rather not worry about controlling their running game, because it's about 5 guys on this team that will run if they do get on base. So I do think of speed when I think of Oklahoma with baseball today, Matt. And I also think of this is a very weird series already. Just because, so we had Coach Van Horn on yesterday, and it wasn't weird that the way that he announced the pitching probables for Arkansas, and there's only one. We've seen other years before where you've only had one starting pitcher going into a weekend and then some TBAs. And so it's Dietz today and then TBA tomorrow and to be announced on Sunday or Game 3, whenever that does get played. The weird aspect is that Oklahoma yesterday also announced their starting rotation, and they do not have an announced starting pitcher today, while they have 2 pitchers announced for the games that Arkansas does not have anybody announced. And that the symmetry with this is unique, because I don't know if I've seen something like this before. A lot of times, like I've seen other series where the teams know who their first game starter is, but maybe not the next 2, because that's usually the thing you hang your hat on. You know, but you look at Ole Miss last week; they started their best pitcher Saturday. And Ole Miss, I mean, with Oklahoma, and then they're dealing with more than anything, just in terms of Cameron Johnson, who's going to pitch tomorrow, a knee injury, and so you know that's not a matter of ineffectiveness, because when he's healthy, he's really good. But then ineffectiveness for the other starting pitchers. That's why they took L.J. Mercurius out of the rotation, because he's got an ERA over 8 in the SEC. It's a mercurial ERA for a guy with a name like that. And so they're starting a couple of guys that you know, one that they're not sure if he's healthy, and the other one, Cord Rager's got an ERA that's over 6. So I'm not sure who to give the edge to here. I feel pretty good about the guys that Arkansas is going to throw, because at some point it will be Gabe Gackle and or Cole Gibbler, right? Or if they have a chance to win today and see the opportunity to go for the jugular, one of those guys is going to get the ball with the lead in the 7th or the 8th inning, and maybe see if they can complete the game, or maybe hand it off to McIlvain. But does that preclude them from starting on Sunday? And when you play 2 games on Saturday, then you do have to kind of hold somebody back. It's all this stuff with a lot of moving parts, because baseball does make it unique that, A, you announce who your starters are for pitching for the most important position. It's like you look at the game notes for football week by week. How often have those depth charts really changed? Sometimes you see it the first week and it's the exact same thing. With baseball, man, I mean, you announce who your pitchers are going to be. You don't announce who your starters are going to be for basketball until an hour before tip-off. They've got probable starters there on the game notes, so that does make baseball a little bit different. And that you can move first pitch around for 2 hours today, and maybe have a doubleheader tomorrow. Again, they haven't asked me, but it does look like that could be a possibility. Again, halftime on this Friday, Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen, hour 3. That's 1:15. James Teague from the Teague Law Firm, former Arkansas pitcher that I think he's got a really good perspective on what some of the Arkansas pitchers are dealing with today, which is not knowing coming into a weekend if you're relieving or starting. Usually you do have a sense going into the weekend of at least whether, maybe not the role you serve out of the bullpen, but by this point of the season, yes, definitely the role you serve out of the pen, but you usually know whether or not you're starting or beginning the game in the bullpen. So James did that a few times, so that's a different sort of way to show up at the ballpark. And Aaron Torres coming up in a moment. And also our Fish City Trivia Friday question, she'll center around some athletes from Oklahoma. And so you're associating speed and Oklahoma and football, Matt, and I'm going to go with the baseball aspect, even though this Oklahoma team doesn't really have a lot of power. There are some Hall of Famers in Cooperstown who are from the state of Oklahoma, and every one of them you would think of was a big-time power hitter. So we'll have a $25 gift card to give to the winner from Fish City Grill when we get into that. Otherwise, calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline as we go throughout the show today on this absolutely gorgeous Friday to wrap up what has certainly been a very interesting week. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Anybody get insulted on Inside the NBA last night? Are they bringing Draymond Green back or anything?
They should.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Give him a microphone.
Makes for some interesting television if you like the awkward moments. Why not? Just put him. You remember when Dr. J and Kareem did a one-on-one? I think it was after they had already retired and they played one-on-one. You got to have Draymond go up again. Well, it wouldn't go well for Barkley now if you have him go one-on-one. Just so you actually can have a real interesting segment that's more cohesive for viewers to understand what it is that they're saying and the point they're trying to make, or who could actually make people laugh. I think Barkley would win that one, don't you?
Well, I think some people think their ego lets them think that they're better than what they are. Draymond Green's the perfect case of, if he goes to a different situation, it would have totally ended up, is he a heck of a player, 1%er? Yes. He's not a Hall of Famer. It's not because of him why they won those championships. Was he a cog in the rotation? Yes, but he's never been the best at his position.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Aaron Torres joins halftime. We'll dig into more NCAA basketball teams joining March Madness and what that means right after this on halftime.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
From sauce to dust to nuggets. Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. No, they don't come in mild. That would make like 0 sense with the name. Or the whole explosion thing we just did. New Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
May vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Now let's get back to halftime with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Arkansas football legend Matt Jones.
We're working on getting Aaron Torres on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Anybody want to take a guess what might be going on in the background? Matt, you want to give it a try? I would say he's exploring Venus
I was
right
say
now.
He's with Sandra Bullock in the movie Gravity.
Yeah, he's with Barbarella right now up there attacking Duran Duran. Aaron Torres joining us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline here on a Friday morning. AT, happy Expansion Day. We get to celebrate this every year now, right? I guess it's the day after real Expansion Day, or maybe it hasn't been fully approved, but we know it's going to be. So happy NCAA expansion. We can all celebrate.
We're expanding now. I don't know about the college baseball tournament, but it sounds like the playoff's going to be at 24 before we know it. Sounds like the NCAA tournament is at 76, and I don't think they're going to stop there. What I do think is funny, one, with the tournament expansion, one is the fact that I have yet to hear anyone that doesn't have a financial, I'll take that back. I'll give credit to the NCAA. I read some stuff today, and I don't know where the statement was released, but they basically acknowledged, hey, we're going to be able to raise $50 million more a year as part of this NCAA tournament, And so at least they're finally admitting it's about money, and it's not about access, and it's not about the little guy, because we know it's going to be SEC and Big Ten and ACC teams that are getting these bids. It's not going to be a third team from the Mountain West or a second team from whatever. And so as long as we're now being honest about it, I'm okay. I do think it is funny, and I'll be quick and I'll throw it back to you guys, but especially you hear this more with the expanded college football playoff, is that a lot of these coaches are quietly advocating for it because they think it'll save their jobs. Go 8-4 3 straight years and, losing the first round of the playoff one of those years, missed the other 2 years. See how excited that fan base is at a lot of these schools to bring you back. So, again, it's happening. It's inevitable. I kind of have a policy. I'll talk about it once, and then once it becomes just me complaining about something that I can't fix, I move on. But I don't think the tournament's going to be better next year than it was this year. I'll say that.
Do they have to? I think the biggest thing the media did, as far as the TV rights, is to dismiss the NIT. Why not have 2 tournaments? Either have 128 in the NCAA tournament, or make it 32 teams in one tournament and 32. You could. There's a way to go about it, but just add in 8 teams every 7 years. That's just what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the NIT is kind of dead already. And I think that's part
well, it doesn't
of
have
it,
to
Matt.
be the NIT, but it should be. There should be another tournament that you go on to that you can grasp onto.
Let's be honest. They've tried 30 different tournaments. Here's the thing, and I think this speaks to the expansion, is when you're talking about a team that's the 71st best team, part of the reason the NIT is dead, part of the reason that Fox tried to start this crown thing and it went from 16 to 8 teams and it probably won't be back next year. In this era, if you're having the kind of season that puts you on the bubble, especially as a power conference team, pretty much everybody just wants the season to be done. And that's the funny part about this is Auburn's probably a bad example because they actually rallied in the NIT this year. But, look at all the teams that just passed up on an opportunity to play postseason basketball. And it was because they sat there and said the season was a failure. Coaches probably don't like players.
Well, it happened 30 years
ago
ago when they quit playing the third place game. Same concept.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just one of those things of, and that's the funny part to me. And this is what I always say. And Phil's heard me make this rant for years. But pick a team that wasn't on that wasn't Auburn this year that was on the bubble. Let's say Indiana, who I think was technically in the last 4. Indiana didn't play in the NIT. because everyone at Indiana, from the coaches to the players to the fans, was disappointed and just wanted the season to be over. And so that's the funny part to me, is that I don't think that if you finish 15th in the SEC and you get in as the last team in the tournament and your season's over on Tuesday instead of Sunday, that makes the season any more of a success. Like, if Indiana had been the first team in, the last team in, rather than the second team out, I don't think Indiana fans are waving pom-poms and saying, wow, that was the greatest season that we've ever had. And so, again, I'm just glad that finally people are acknowledging and talking about the money aspect, because if we're doing it for more money, let's do it for more money. That's fine. A lot of people do a lot of things for money that they don't want to do. But this notion that it's somehow something that people want, something that somehow people desire, it's just not true. It's funny. I'll tell you a quick side story. But last week I was on Sirius XM with my buddy. Well, Chris Plank was out, but I forget who was hosting. But they said to me, okay, you've talked about all the negatives. Give me a positive. And I said, well, here's the thing. I think tournament expansion is probably like a 95-5 issue. In other words, I would say 95+% of people were against tournament expansion. And so whenever there's a 95-5 issue, can you find a positive? Yeah, but the positives don't outweigh the negatives. And so, again, we can talk about it, but I don't have to try to spin it in some way as though I'm excited or this is a net positive, because I just don't think that it is. I'll be really quick, but this is part of like I talked about this on my show yesterday, but you look at all of the things that it impacts as far as how we fill out a bracket, what the bubble looks like. I just think it makes the regular season worse. It makes the tournament worse. It makes the experience of the tournament worse. It makes the experience of championship week worse. It is what it is. It's not changing. But again, like I said on that Sirius interview, is I can find positive if I look hard enough, but I don't think it is a positive for people who love this sport.
Well, and it's because, look, I didn't read their whole explanation and everything, but I went back and I did some numbers here. You said you don't know if the baseball postseason is going to expand. It's not going to expand. 21% of NCAA D1 baseball teams make the postseason. With the new teams that make the tournament in basketball, now 21% of Division I men's basketball teams also make it. I'm not saying that's why they did it, because I know they did it for money, for monetary purposes, but they could have pointed to this percentage and saying, look, we're just matching baseball, do the same thing with women's basketball. But it's also not accepted by fans, Aaron. It's like, look, didn't George Mason and UCLA make it to the Final Four out of the first four, and still the ratings for the first, like, people still don't watch it the way they do Thursday and Friday, and they're never going to, and they're not going to watch this Dirty Dozen or Terrible 12 or whatever it's going to be, the same way. It's just because they don't accept it, even with the evidence that, hey, there have been some teams that have played on these Wednesdays that have gone to the last weekend.
So it's actually funny you bring that up, Phil. A couple thoughts on that. One, I remember vividly, and Phil, you would remember this better than I did, but the year that Ole Miss won the baseball championship and they were literally the last team in the field.
Yes.
Greg Sankey tried to use that as justification for expanding college basketball. Well, you just never know what can happen if we add more teams. I'll give you a crazy stat, okay? So since the tournament I couldn't believe this when I heard it. Since the tournament expanded in 1985, so we're talking now 41 years, and I know that because I was born in 85, and my 41st birthday is coming up pretty here soon. So since the tournament expanded to 64 and 85, there has been a grand total of one school that was not D1 when the tournament expanded in 85 that has made the tournament since transitioning to D1. That was Florida Atlantic in 2023. Everyone else, from George Mason to San Diego State, they were all D1. And so I think, when people start throwing around the percentages, and Phil, I'm not saying you're wrong to do it. I'm just giving you the counter argument to it. Yeah, we're adding more teams. We're not adding more teams that can win it. And I think that's where a lot of my frustration comes in. And beyond that, Phil, I think that's the other thing that you brought up to me is the fascinating thing is, listen, I don't think we ever needed the first four. But Dayton has done this incredible job of making that into a semi-event every year. Well, guess what? We're going to have 6 games a day and you know, obviously 2 sites, whatever. Good luck filling an arena. You know, it's one thing to get a little doubleheader if you live in Dayton and support the local community on a Tuesday night. Let me put it this way. I'll be curious what the attendance is for that noon tip-off between Florida A&M and Central Connecticut on a Tuesday. Like, nobody's going to watch. Nobody's going to care. Now, and by the way, here's the other thing. People will argue, well, you know, Florida A&M and Central Connecticut, they can say they won a tournament game. It's like, okay, cool. Tree fell in the forest. I didn't hear it, so I don't know that it happened. It's like, if nobody's watching, it's on a Tuesday while everybody's at work. And oh, by the way, everybody's at work and they got to get extra work done because they took off Thursday, Friday.
That's right.
You're not getting the same celebration that you would. So listen, like I said, and I'm not accusing either of you guys of doing this. People will say, well, there are positives. Yeah, and I can punch 50 holes in every positive, and I'm not trying to be negative, but it is like I have to be honest about how I feel. And like I said, any positive I would say is outweighed 10 times by the negatives that come with it.
Yeah. Hey, let's leave it there, and then next week we can talk about the Mark Pope Summer Communication Chronicles. How about that, okay?
Yeah, he'll do 10 more Q&As. And also we'll talk about college football playoff expansion because we'll be at 36 by the time we get on air next week. So that'll be fun. We'll have plenty to talk about.
Oh, boy. Can't wait. Aaron Torres on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Fridays on halftime. 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Did he just say 36 football teams, Matt?
That's a Jerome Bettis.
I like Jerome Bettis. The number 36 should not involve football playoffs. I don't think at any level. Probably not FCS, Division II, anything. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Lunchtime at Joe's Grilling Cantina. That's where you find the best Tex-Mex and best service. Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith every day makes fresh from scratch salsa, queso dip, and guacamole with crispy warm chips to start your meal, fajitas, enchiladas, tacos, burritos, and much more. Always an experience that you will never forget at Joe's Grilling Cantina, 3400 South 74th across from Harps, right there in Fort Smith, and online at joesfortsmith.com. Stay with us. Halftime is back after this.
Hey, Cup hits that dagger 3, man. I let out a suey. I scared every deer and turkey around for a mile up here. But you know what? I heard some snorting up in them hills, and I guarantee you, man, it was wild hogs. Wild hogs!
This is halftime.
Take it from Arkansas greats, Joe Klein and Pat Bradley.
The big national sports apps are now in Arkansas, taking over Oaklawn and Bentley, which are no longer local.
Making Bet Saracen the only real local app.
Still Arkansans' fan fave.
Plus, Bet Saracen is still the official sports betting app of many of the state's colleges and universities.
Bet Saracen, built by Arkansans for Arkansans.
Bet with Arkansans. Bet with Bet Saracen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Spring showers bring April flowers, and June heat brings the air you can wear. Well, don't sweat it. Call Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. We service all brands and install York high-efficiency HVAC products. So for all your heating and air conditioning and plumbing needs, give Blaylock a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Graduate to a Road Ready Certified Pre-Owned ride and get more for your trade at Rath Auto Resources. Just bring in your old car, even if you still owe money on it. Make the switch to a Road Ready Certified Pre-Owned and get up to $2,000 over appraised value for your trade. With our non-commissioned sales team, painless pricing, and some of the best lenders around, Rath is here to make finding your next car, truck, or SUV easy. Don't settle for the same old car buying experience. Get up to $2,000 extra for your old ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Wow, Matt Jones, this is crazy. If you look at the expansion of the NCAA tournament, the first round seats are now going for over $2,000 a ticket. Oh, wait, that's the World Cup. Never mind. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody's paying $2,550 for the terrible 12 tickets, are they? You're going to pay that? Maybe that for the Final Four. You can pay that. Group stage tickets right now, Matt Jones. I'm seeing an email that was sent to somebody from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta that hosts 8 matches. They get 2 in the knockout round. They get a semifinal. So at Mercedes-Benz Stadium right now, seats start at $2,050 a ticket for the group stage. Round of 32, $2,850. Do they ever use the term Sweet 16 for the World Cup?
Greedy 16.
$3,150. And when Atlanta hosts a semifinal, if you would like to go to the World Cup semifinal on July 15th, the get-in price. And this is from the actual ticket sellers. This is not from scalpers or any of the, secondary market websites. $11,650. That's the get-in price, Matt Jones.
I saw a stat because I do follow a little bit of soccer from time to time. 800% markup from the last World Cup. That's what America's done to the last one. It's 800% markup on average.
I wonder if does this remove a lot of tickets from secondary market? Because I guess the feeling is the prices get up there anyway. Because how many ticket sellers buy these tickets to begin with and get it at some really low price compared to what they're going to sell it for? I guess that's one reason to, I don't know, it's not like you're eliminating the secondary market, but lessen its impact and make more money if you're FIFA. Money grab 16. Wow. If you wanted to get a suite just for the group stage, $44,000 for a suite. I'm not sure how many tickets that entails. Wow. How many teams make the World Cup?
They've expanded it. They had the NCAA committee expanding the team. I don't know how many are making it this year. There used to be 8 pods of 4, so that would be 32. I think that there might be 12 pods now.
48 is what I'm told here.
So there you go. There's 12 pods now. But they've expanded it this year.
So it's expanded this year. Was there any big outcry about that? About
what you get is the same thing. You get the haves and the have-nots. The World Cup has been won by the same 5 teams every year. It's not so you start to look at it. There's 8-9 teams that are capable to win the World Cup, and you think about this: France, Spain, Germany, England. All right, just those 4. Brazil. Just those 5 countries right there. Their second team of all 5 of those countries would start for America. That's how good. Like there's only a handful of countries that are really good at soccer.
I always remember growing up, like Italy was a great.
Italy's amazing,
and they're not one of the 48, right?
They're somehow they've gotten to be like Arkansas, where Italy's won a Euros and a World Cup in the last 20 years. They're the only team in the history to win the World Cup to miss 3 in a row. So they don't have a striker. They lost Andrea Pirlo is my favorite player. I follow the Italian soccer a little bit, or football as you would call it, but they haven't really produced a striker. They play that. Virginia Cavalier offense where they try to win 48-49 all the time, and when you do that, things can happen. But they're still super talented. And if the way you qualify too is different, you qualify by region instead of. So if you were to say, are they one of the best teams? Yes, but the other teams they qualify with, they were the very last team to on that. But so yeah, that's why they didn't make it.
Like literally every sport has expanded their playoffs in the last 12 years, 10 years, maybe not the NHL.
The most corrupt organization in sports is FIFA, and I think the NCAA is right there. I think they're right there behind it.
NBA expanded.
NFL's probably up there.
That's the thing is like the round that the NBA expanded to, Matt, is called a play-in tournament. So even the name of this expansion admits it's not the real playoffs. Otherwise, they wouldn't be calling it a play-in tournament. It would be part of the actual tournament. NFL playoffs expanded. Major League Baseball, you got more wild cards. Women's basketball expanded initially just to do what the men's tournament did for equality's sake. And now both have expanded to 76. Football went from BCS 2 teams to college to playoff 4 teams to 12 teams, eventually moving to 24. That feels inevitable now. And FIFA expands to 40 to 42. Everything 48. Pardon me. Everything expands. I mean, but didn't that also it is. I'm trying to think about one of the things Aaron said. So try to think of a good thing for expansion for the tournament and what it might mean. I thought of something, and I'm like reaching here, Matt. I really am reaching here. Teams like Miami, Ohio, who can't schedule major conference teams in their run-up to their conference season because of how good they usually are, now should be able to get some of those games. Is that good for college basketball? I don't know. I guess so. But I mean, that's the whole point. It's like why do some of these schools not schedule Miami, Ohio? Well, because they don't want to lose. They don't want to get the net dinged, and they don't want the loss on their resume because it's going to hurt them when it comes time for Selection Sunday. Well, now, yeah, you can lose a couple extra games. It's not going to hurt your chance to get in. That's a tiny little thing that might be good for college basketball, Matt. I'm not sure if it's worth expanding another 8 teams, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they have all those systems. Playing basketball, how they would rank teams for the SEC tournament. Sometimes it could be if you're tied with the same record, if you tied head to head, they go to point different. You start going down the list, so it can change your seeding. So that all that stuff does matter. That's for sure. But I've always been of the mindset that yes, we'll play whoever, whenever, and we're going to go play. Like you can't think as a player. You don't ever think that. You don't ever think about the 7th tie. You're just, what is my focus today? We're going to go play that. We're going to go win this game. What attention to detail. We're doing that. That's not the player's job to know all that type of stuff.
But it is in the coaches' minds, and those are the people that control the schedule.
The coaches do need to know that, but it's still it seems like it's somebody else's deal. It's more of the money people that are in charge of all that stuff.
877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Yeah, Andy says that's a stretch, Phil. I told you I was stretching. I was just trying to find – I'm really just playing devil's advocate there. I don't think it's a good thing to expand this, but that's one aspect that you can point to and say, well, there's a tiny little maybe positive-ish sort of a thing. Big Keith is here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. What's up, Big Keith?
Hey, Phil.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Matt. He's up in the house. How you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Hey, Matt, I agree with you 100% about the second team could play and be better than America's team. But here's my thing is, I was wanting your opinion on this, Matt. Do you think it's because we got so many other sports that people can go to and do where they don't have that many in other countries?
100%. We grow up throwing a baseball, throwing a football, shooting a basketball. Every other country, there's only 3 countries in the world that call it soccer. Everybody else calls it football. They grow up. That's what they do. They play foot. It's innate. It's something that's in their blood. It's not it's okay. It's okay that the USA men's national team is never going to win a World Cup. That's okay.
Yeah. Did soccer is one up there with hockey and maybe basketball that has one clear-cut person who was the best ever. And I was going to see if you could tell me the names of the three people.
Who's the best hockey player? Wayne Gretzky, because I know is the best baseball player Babe Ruth and Michael Jordan. Is that in Pele? Is that how you're going?
Yeah, that's it. Yep, and Wayne Gretzky by far. He outscored the nearest person that's closest to him. I think he's got like 2 or 3 times as many points as the nearest person that was closest to him. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then Phil, hey, have they announced if the site for the softball regionals yet?
No, that's not until I guess it's after the conference tournament championship games. So I guess that's next Monday. I can't imagine, and Big Keith, we got to run. So it's good to hear from you, Big Keith. I can't imagine. Softball lost yesterday in the SEC tournament. That doesn't matter for their seeding. They're the number 1 RPI in the country. They're going to be top 8. You're not going to have the number 1 RPI in the country, and even if they lost yesterday, they're going to be a top 8 national seed. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Thanks for Big Keith. Good to hear from you. Can get with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. I'm going to tell you about the second largest employer in Harrison. It's North Arkansas Regional Medical Center. They bring better to you. Over 700 employees and over $50 million in annual salaries provided in the Harrison community. They also are the only facility within 50 miles of Harrison that is baby-friendly designated, the 3rd in Arkansas. There are now 8 hospitals in the state that are baby-friendly. They deliver over 500 babies annually at NARMC. Learn more about North Arkansas Regional Medical Center at NARMC.com. We're back in a moment to wrap up hour number 1. This is Halftime.
I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to be easy. So if you're looking for an easy route, go to a team that we're playing next year, and we'll beat your ass.
This is halftime.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Whether you're fishing for coldwater bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Enclaves at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. That's $4,000 off and 4.9% financing for up to 84 months on this luxurious third-row SUV. Or drive the brand-new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited-time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
Rich Eisen here with some advice. If high-interest credit card debt is grinding you down, it might be time to call an audible with a SoFi personal loan. It consolidates your debt into one low monthly payment with no fees required. And with as soon as the same day funding, you can make the right play fast. Call an audible on your debt today at SoFi.com/debtplay. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debtplay.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
Gotta make a move to a town that's
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, I've got a Fish City Friday trivia question for you. Fish City Grill. Hey, make Mother's Day coming up Sunday an effortless treat. You can call Fish City Grill or go online and get a reservation for $35 per person. Super salad. You get crab bisque or balsamic blue side salad. You get the entree that comes with it and dessert. It's just $35 per person at Fish City Grill in Rogers. 877-377-6963 to call or text with the answer. Arkansas playing Oklahoma in baseball for the next 3 games. I need 3 baseball Hall of Famers who were born in the state of Oklahoma. These are Cooperstown Major League Baseball Hall of Famers, 3 of them who were born in the state of Oklahoma. Again, that's 877-377-6963 to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. The first correct answers, and you got to get all 3 of them, we'll get a $25 gift card to Fish City Grill. I think 2 of them are fairly easy. It's the other one that might keep you a little bit off balance for just a little bit. And let's see if something happens in this series where you can actually have a real rivalry between these 2 programs. Arkansas and Oklahoma haven't played a weekend series since, I think it was 1982 or 83. We played midweek games here and there throughout the years, a little bit of postseason. But, it's the weekends where you really start, a rivalry, especially when you get 2 teams who are so tight in the standings. The Hogs 1 game ahead of Oklahoma at 13-11. OU is 12-12. And what you're fighting for right now is a chance to get a bye in Hoover next week. You do not want to have to play Tuesday, and, you really want to play on Wednesday. Right now, Arkansas would be playing Wednesday. Oklahoma would be playing Tuesday. So there is a little bit more at stake as far as that's concerned. 877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Group hotline to get in that answer for Fish City Trivia Friday. 3 baseball Hall of Famers who were born in the state of Oklahoma. And hour number 2 of halftime is after this.
Spring is in the air, and the fish are biting, the gobblers are strutting, and the trees are blooming. Jelco Outdoors, your locally owned one-stop shop, is ready to help you get outside and enjoy the great outdoors. Stop by and let our friendly staff help you get the gear you need. Jelco Outdoors, your store for hunt, fish, and work. That's what we do. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Unforgettable moments, legendary players, college baseball's best fans. SEC Baseball is here, and so are some great ballpark promotions. Vinyl Record Night, Bobblehead Day, and more dot this season's Razorback Baseball promotional giveaway schedule. For details and tickets, just visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Mother's Day is coming, and you gotta show love to the mothers in your life. You know you gotta take care of mom. Plus, my wife just became a first-time mom. So yeah, Mother's Day matters, and you gotta get it right. That's why I'm sending flowers from the Books Company. Right now, get 25% off with code CANTY. Books flowers are cut fresh, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. And it's easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. Mother's Day is May 10th, so don't wait. Go to Books.com, use code CANTY to get 25% off. That's BOUQS.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see a sunny sky. Our highs this afternoon will be into the upper 70s to right around the 80-degree mark. Later on tonight, we're looking at a chance of seeing some showers, a chance of thunderstorms. Our overnight lows will drop down into the mid to upper 50s, and then Saturday looks sunny at the high in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor, located at 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What name of one Razorback?
Is vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back to Halftime. Hour 2, it's 12:01 on a Friday. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston. 877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Group hotline anytime you want to get with us. For calls and texts, James Teague, Teague Law Firm, former Arkansas pitcher, in about 15 minutes. Do a little preview on what it's going to be like it's not for the whole pitching staff. It's for the guys who would start or would maybe not start. And they're not quite sure what their role will be showing up this weekend, or really just showing up today. You know, in Gabe Gackel's mind, he might be thinking to himself, you know what, I might be starting tomorrow, or I might be relieving today. I don't know. Cole Gibbler, he could be starting on Saturday. He could be starting on Sunday. He could be relieving today. Who knows? Parker Coyle could pitch today for an inning or so and then start Sunday's game. It's like, Matt, when you showed up at a football stadium, you usually had a real sense of how it was what it was you were going to be doing. The things that your team needed you to do, and how long you'd be out there as well, and whether or not you'd be starting the game. And there's a lot of guys whose job for Arkansas baseball is pitching, and they're not sure what role they're going to be serving.
Yeah, man, that's an exciting day. You try to I watched Tiger Woods. This is 20 years ago or so. Talk about how he drives to the golf course, because he does everything methodical. He does everything slow. He does everything with a purpose. And so we're creatures of habit. And so what you're doing now is you're changing that habit for a couple different creatures. That's tough, man. That's tough on everybody involved in it. But it makes you a warrior. It makes you a competitor. And there's some people that are right for the job. Is it a little tougher that day? Yeah, but nobody cares. Nobody cares that it's tougher for you. It's just like when it's your number, get up there and do your job.
So I feel like the role of a pitcher is to get guys out, right? And that should be no different from the first inning or the fifth inning or the ninth inning. But we know that that's not the case. It just seems to be tougher sometimes to get those last outs in the ninth inning of a tough game. And then there's just some pitchers that, for some reason, just don't look very comfortable when they're the first guy out there. And I guess that's been the thing for Gackle, because there has been moments back in the pen where it looks like his stuff is back. A little bite on the cutter and some velocity too. But it's just interesting, It's like pitchers they're sensitive creatures, Matt. I put it that way. They're very sensitive creatures. And I don't mean that in terms of their emotions and everything. Some of them are probably just the same percentage as the regular human being. But it's more about, when it is that because it's so much different. Your job is the same, get an out. But when you come out of the bullpen and you get the ball and it's the 7th inning and the tying run is at third base and the go-ahead run's at second base, you've got to come in focused immediately and either whatever you need to be, either intense or calm, whatever it is you need to be, and sometimes that moment just automatically puts you in that mode. Like a fan in the stands will feel that intensity. The pitcher coming out of the pen's got to feel that same intensity. But I think sometimes it can be difficult for pitchers to immediately be focused, boom, from the first pitch of the game when they're the one throwing the first pitch of the game. And I don't know, maybe that's been the thing for Gackle, but then again, he had a thing the other day where it looked like he had a pretty good start, but it's just going to be one at a time for this team, which is okay. Be one thing at a time, one game at a time, and it's a boring cliche, but there's always a little nugget of truth in these cliches. We have a correct answer for the Fish City Trivia Friday question. 3 Hall of Famers, baseball Hall of Famers from the state who it's not just born in Oklahoma, because Oklahoma's only been a state for a certain amount of time. Not from Oklahoma, because I think a lot of ways we view Warren Spahn was from Oklahoma. He was born in Buffalo, New York. Fergie Jenkins we associate with Oklahoma. He was born in Ontario. He's actually a Canadian Hall of Famer who makes his home in Oklahoma now. So the 3, and Andy in Mountain Home has the correct answer. The easy ones are Mickey Mantle and Johnny Bench. Everybody knows these ones. If you're a baseball fan, you pretty much know those ones. Mickey Mantle is from Spavinaw. Well, that's where he was born. Born in Spavinaw, Oklahoma, but one of his nicknames was the Commerce Comet because he grew up in Commerce. So there's Mickey. There's Johnny Bench, and Bench is from Oklahoma City. And then the third one, and this is another one of those players. It's like, well, he's born somewhere, but he kind of like you associate him with another place later on in his life, was Willie Stargell, who still has the record for career home runs by a Pittsburgh Pirate, and was the first player that I ever chose as my favorite player at the age of 6 when I used to ride the school bus with his daughter Kelly to the same school. And he was like still, 37, 38 years old and hit maybe a handful of home runs. And Pops, that's right. Pops was he was born in Earlsboro, Oklahoma, right outside Oklahoma City. Played his entire career with the Pirates. Later, he went into coaching and scouting with the Braves. When Chuck Tanner managed the Braves, he brought Stargell over there with him, and then lived out the rest of his years in Wilmington, North Carolina, where he passed away. So those are the 3, Johnny Bench, Mickey Mantle, Willie Stargell. And Matt, I'm not lying. Willie Stargell is the first athlete that I chose as my favorite at the age of 6. Now, who would be yours at the age of 6?
The first athlete. Well, I thought one of my guesses was Honus Wagner, but he's actually from Pennsylvania. That when I was thinking, yeah, first athlete. Oh my goodness. I mean, I was 6, 7 years old, and I told you I went to a baseball game with my grandfather in St. Louis at the old Busch Stadium. They were playing the Cubs. I saw Vince Coleman steal home. But I saw Ozzie Smith do his flip. But in between, was it the 7th and 8th or 6th and 7th inning, whatever the half inning was right there? And so Ozzie Smith, I think, would be the answer to that. I was big, King Griffey Jr., really big into baseball when I was in my youth.
Was there a football player you took to immediately?
Randall Cunningham, Charlie Ward, Tommy Frazier, those 3, Barry Sanders. Yeah, those 3 guys.
It's weird. I didn't pick a Steeler as my favorite, although because I met Rocky Bleier when he was doing when Bleier retired, he went into television for a few years, and my school got a chance to go visit the TV station, and oh my gosh, there's Rocky Bleier, but he wasn't playing anymore, so I couldn't have chosen him. Franco was gone by then. Yeah, it's like the first the first football player that I picked as my favorite football player wasn't even a Steeler where I'm from. It was John Elway.
One of the best. I mean, I think he's a top 5 quarterback all time. I think John Elway is. If you were to just say top 5 quarterbacks ever, John Elway has to be on that list.
But I picked Stargell because it was still it was like 3 years after the Pirates had won a World Series. He was MVP. Pops was, it's a really cool nickname. They still did the Stargell Stars. The team still won some games then, and you knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer. Everybody loved Willie Stargell in that city, and so I picked him as my favorite. It was just a little added bonus that his daughter went to the same school, and they lived in the same neighborhood, so we rode the same bus together. Wilver Dornell Stargell. Yep, big left-handed hitter. And he and Mantle was my dad's favorite athlete of all time. I mean, you could pick one athlete, his favorite of all time, at just about like all the other 95% of the kids of his age from New York City in the 50s. They all, like, how many kids are named Mickey that were born in the 50s? Mickey Mantle was named Mickey because his father's favorite ball player was Mickey Cochran, the catcher for the Athletics. So there it is. My favorite as a youth, my dad's favorite as a youth, both from Oklahoma. And then there literally were millions of kids around the country who loved Johnny Bench because not only was he great, but he was personable, and he did the baseball bunch. I mean, he was one of the real great promoters of the sport. So yeah, we all love those guys. So again, congratulations to who was it? It was Andy in Mountain Home. It was Andy in Mountain Home that pulled it off. So Robert and Barling texted in a couple of the guys here who are also born in Oklahoma, but I'm splitting hairs here, Robert. You said Warner. It's the Wainer brothers, Paul and Lloyd Wainer. They were called Big Poison and Little Poison. Both played for the Pirates. So they were born in Oklahoma, but it was not a state yet. It was still a territory when they were born. And the question was, Hall of Famers born in the state of Oklahoma. So I parsed hairs, and your answer of the Wainer brothers is incorrect. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll talk with James Teague from the Teague Law Firm about Arkansas baseball here on Halftime.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
From sauce to dust to nuggets. Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. No, they don't come in mild. That would make like 0 sense with the name. Or the whole explosion thing we just did. New Diablo Dusted Crispy Chicken Nuggets. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for, only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Learn more at propane.com/powerplay.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
And she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke, and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed, and my stomach is sick, and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
4 o'clock first pitch. If you hadn't heard, Arkansas and Oklahoma had to move up first pitch from 6 to 4 because of a good chance of rain between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So you'd have the game really going by then. They really seemed like they had that much of a choice. So let's talk about this series with Arkansas and Oklahoma with Arkansas pitcher James Teague from the Teague Law Firm.
Hey, it's former Hog James Teague.
Teague comes running in, throws a fastball in the corner, drops a breaking ball in there, and is now way ahead of the count.
Join me on Halftime Fridays at 12:15 to talk Hog baseball, and come see me at the Teague Law Firm for any legal matter you need handled. You know what we always say, if we can't help you, we'll talk baseball.
The 1-2. He struck him out swinging. Hey, James, happy game day. How are you?
I'm good. Happy game day, Phil. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing all right, man. One announced starting pitcher for this series. It's kind of it's interesting. We've seen Arkansas do this before, but it's the first time that they've had just the one starting pitcher and 2 TBAs for this series. I wonder what you think about that.
Well, it could be a variety of things. It could be guys who are a little worn down, but you don't want to make any references, in the press about injury or about fatigue. It could just be trying to keep options open. Obviously, had a huge win last weekend at Ole Miss. They're just seeing kind of where the game goes, how the flow is. Do we need long relief or short relief out of the bullpen? Just kind of keeping cards close to the chest a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so, but it also just feels like it feels like they're just attacking Friday first and foremost, and then seeing who's left over from Friday, which we've seen. That's kind of the way that Dave manages games to begin with. Like, they go in sometimes all in on Friday, and it feels like when you go into these series now, the first thing they're thinking about is not necessarily the series; they're thinking about Friday.
Yeah, if you win Friday, flip a coin, to win from there, win the series. And I think probably that's a percentage game of saying if we can win out all of these series, we got a chance to get in that host spot potentially. And if that's the case, then winning Friday would be, I think, just common sense best approach to give yourself the best chance to win the series.
Did you have weekends where you weren't sure if, because you did both, and I'm pretty sure there were weekends where you might have started the day that it was TBA. That didn't maybe necessarily mean you didn't know you were starting, but you had weekends like this, right?
Yeah, what I imagine the conversation is that, hey, we may need you in long relief. If we do, be ready to go. However, if you don't go in long relief, you're probably going to be the starter. And so they kind of give guys an idea so they're not totally, thrown to a wind. But then at the same time, Dave's going to make a judgment call that says if it's the 7th or 8th inning and this is our best arm, I'm going to throw him to try to win this game, whether it's short relief, long relief, or maybe the plan was to start him the next day. And I think that when you don't have 3 dominant starters, that approach, makes a little bit of sense because you got to win the games you can get and then hope your offense scores and your bullpen can hold down the others.
From what you saw this past weekend, do you think that there's an uptick offensively? They showed a lot of power in the Ole Miss series, James, and it wasn't wind-blown stuff.
Yeah, I think Aloy, he's starting to show a little better bat to ball. We've seen Pompey and then obviously Helfrich kind of doing what he's been doing. The average maybe isn't quite as high, but when, like we talked about all season, when they click on all cylinders, they can be an above-average offense. I think it's just making sure that you get bat to ball in those situations where, runner in scoring position less than 2 outs, got to find a way to get that in. And then if you do those things and then you hit for power on top of that, you put your offense in a really good position.
Mm-hmm. How do you think? What's it like for you watching Ryder Helfrich catch? I think I saw a tweet yesterday come from the baseball program that he is the leading catcher in the nation in defensive runs saved, in pitch framing. He does all of these things that the analytics point to that says this is a guy that you want catching your pitching staff. What do you see when you watch Ryder Helfrich catching?
Yeah, I think that's rare too, because I think what the eye test would tell you is there's a level of comfort and there's a level of just control of the game that maybe doesn't always show up on the analytics. And so when you pass the eye test, but then the analytics also back it up, I think that's really something special.
When you were pitching, were catchers still were you know how they go down to one knee now? And I was a catcher growing up in high school, and that's not how we were taught to catch. They are taught to catch like that now. Were you in on kind of like the change for catchers and how they were taught to catch when you were pitching?
As long as the ball doesn't go to the backstop, you can sit on 2 knees or 0 or 1. Just, whatever you got to do to be comfortable back there. I actually really like throwing. Like if it's a left-handed batter and the catcher is a right-hander and he's left knee down, and let's say it's set up away, his body is kind of angled almost towards the left-handed batter. I like visually seeing that of the left leg is down. I feel like I got all the room in the world on that low and away corner, and I can just try to paint fastballs there. So for me, visually, the one leg down actually was appealing to throw to.
Did the target mean anything to you? You see catchers kind of just like flash that target now, and I remember being taught, you want to hold that thing steady for him, and now they just kind of flash it. What did you like?
Yeah, target at the bottom of the zone. I didn't like a lot of the fake high, low, move around. I wanted someone a little more still. So if you're going to give me a target, give it early and don't flash the target away. But I think the guys that you find a rhythm on is, that they give you a good something good to look at. They look calm and collected back there. And then if you hit your spot, you're kind of just syncing up with that guy. You gave me the spot, I hit it, we're moving in, we're moving out. It's kind of a little bit of a dance.
A little bit of. There must be moments when you're pitching and you figure that the guy that you're working with is the absolute best dance partner you've ever had, and it's just like it's not through verbal communication. It's by It's by like little hints to each other here and there. It's like when you're simpatico with your battery mate, don't you?
Yeah, I think sometimes you'll see it. The pitcher will come off the field, and the catcher, he'll kind of give him a little nod or a little look of like, yeah, we were pretty synced up right there. That was pretty cool. And you can just feel it. You kind of know. You don't have to say anything. You just know when it's happening.
Arkansas, Oklahoma. I'm talking to somebody who's born in Oklahoma, who graduated from Bartlesville High School. Does this series mean anything more to you? Because these programs have never met as conference opponents, and I'm assuming we'll be seeing them, more often than not. We should.
Well, as a Bartian growing up, Bartlesville native, everyone here, it was all Big 12, Big 12. Big 12's the best. We, OU football, all the rest of, well, if we were in the SEC, we would dominate. You guys aren't actually that good, overrated. So there's a lot of the conference chatter, I think, that comes into it. Obviously, OU football's done fine in the conference. Baseball's been okay. But I think it was more of the conference dispute, less the teams, because we just didn't play that often. So I hope we go in there and sweep them all three and crush them. And even though I know they're in the SEC now, just that there's still that part of me that has that Big 12 SEC rivalry growing up.
James Teague is with us, former Arkansas pitcher, member of the Teague Law Firm, Bartlesville, Oklahoma native. Did you say that if you're from Bartlesville, you're called a Bartian?
Yeah, we're the Bartian. That's right.
I have never heard I guess you can't go like Bartlesvillian, right? It's like where I live. No one goes in Little Rock. You're not a Little Rocker or a Little Rockanian. Nobody goes in those directions. Thanks for.
No, and Bartlesville is one of those places. Is if you're there, you know it. It has a certain vibe, a certain ambiance, and I love growing up there. We had a decent high school team, a great coach, so it's a nice place.
Interesting. Well, you taught me something today. Maybe something to get into next week when we join you, but. Thoughts on automatic ball strike at the SEC tournament, something that you don't have during the regular season, something that you will not have during the NCAA postseason, but you'll have it in the week of Hoover.
It's kind of like doing it in the minor leagues, I think. You got to find some avenue or some medium to introduce these new ideas, and because the SEC tournament it's obviously serious, but it's not postseason, it's not regular season, it's certainly not conference play. You're still going to get conference wins, in terms of your schedule, but I don't mind it. I think it's been okay at the big league level. One thing they've done well, I think, is just the pace of the challenges. It's a tap on the helmet, they look at it, it's ball strike, and you move on. So if we can mirror that pace without kind of the drama and it's kind of business as usual, I think it'll be all right.
Last thing, and then we'll see what's going on these days at the Teague Law Firm. NCAA basketball tournament has just expanded to 76. When you look at baseball and you look at the success of 2022 Ole Miss, I think it was the year after Florida might have been the last team in with a 13-17 league record, and they finished runner-up. So with baseball showing that you can be the last team in and still win the whole thing, should baseball expand? Please say no.
I'm going to go no. I think there's enough teams in the lower echelon that still find a way to get into the postseason. And the thing about baseball is in the regionals, it's hard for a Cinderella to make it because they usually don't have the pitching. They got to win all of their games. They got to beat a 1 seed, and then they got to have enough pitching if they get knocked out to come back. And a lot of times that's just really hard to do. Whereas in basketball, if you get hot, you make a couple threes, you get some momentum, you can flip a game. I think in a regional setting, you're just eventually going to run into the buzzsaw, which is depth in the pitching position, which is just hard to overcome for those small programs.
James joins us each Friday on Halftime. He is, of course, former Arkansas pitcher, part of the Teague Law Firm. 479-877-1688 is the number for the Teague Law Firm. If you leave a message, they will call you back, and you will talk to an actual lawyer. They can help with family law, bankruptcy, wills and estates, personal injury, criminal defense, corporate law, and much more. Teague-law.com if you want to learn more. James, tell us what's going on right now at Teague Law Firm.
As we've been picking up business on the misdemeanor side, traffic citations, DUIs, non-felony criminal cases, just generally speaking. And, there's so many different district courts when you think of the entirety of Northwest Arkansas. So just getting familiar with all of those judges and processes and procedures and all of the prosecutors as well. And it's nice, to build up a repertoire of people that you know and that you work with and that you're familiar with, whether it be opposing counsel or prosecutors or, anyone on the criminal side especially. And then, just building those relationships, working through cases, getting positive resolutions, and doing it really, I think, quickly and efficiently. I think that's been a big thing that's really grown this last year, is just knocking out a lot of district court cases with really good outcomes and really enjoying it.
Again, the phone number at the Teague Law Firm, 479-877-1688. James, what do you always say?
Hey, if we can't help you, we'll talk baseball.
All right, we'll talk next week. James, always appreciate you. Now we'll open up our Lewis Automotive Group hotline at 877-377-6963. Halftime back after this break.
But I'm really happy with the way that we've focused in on the road this year.
This is halftime.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or
I love the horns down. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
This is halftime.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LindberghTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
When a business has been around more than 65 years, you know they're doing something right. Hey, Ty Richardson for Johnny's Transmission. They've been trusted in Fort Smith and the River Valley since 1959. Located at 1212 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, they strive to make every customer's experience outstanding and want your vehicle to be in the best condition for the road ahead. Check out their website, Johnny'sTransmissionFS.com, and find them on Facebook. Johnny's Transmission, family owned and operated since 1959.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Down, down, down. My head is spinning around and around. I go deep into the funnel of love. Such a crazy, crazy feeling. I get weak underneath. My poor old head is a reeling as I go deep into the funnel of love.
Enjoy the music you hear on Halftime. Of course you do. Our Halftime playlist is brought to you by Bath Makeover of Arkansas. During the month of May, they're looking for 30 homes to participate in their Spring into Savings event. 30 homeowners will receive 50% off installation of a new bathtub or shower. Make sure to ask about 0% interest financing options with their senior and military discounts. You can receive a $200 gas card with a bathtub or shower purchase and a free $50 Walmart gift card with a free in-home estimate. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Here's a way to winnow the herd a little bit more. Did you see, Matt, this volcano that has gone off in the Philippines? And I'm seeing a video here of tourists on the mountain stopping to film the explosion. And then the headline here says these tourists were killed. I would expect that if you're on the mountain and you see a giant plume of smoke coming out of that mountain, you might just run in the other direction as fast as you possibly can and maybe even fall down the mountain on purpose. They stopped to get video of it.
Is it like white people?
Yes. Tourists.
Oh,
here.
Goodness.
That's that's winnowing the herd. That's for certain. Let's see what else here. Here's another one. So this Darren Peterson, the Kansas star, has said that the reason that his body cramped up so much and a reason why he didn't play as often as Kansas fans would have liked is that he ended up with cramping because of high doses of creatine. I know that this is it's been a popular supplement for a long time for athletes. And has become much more mainstream in the last few years, but that's what he's saying here. He said that his legs started cramping after a week-long boot camp. He'd already been taking all of this stuff, and wow, he wasn't talking about this during the season too. He left it open to anybody else to think that he just wasn't interested in playing for Kansas and was just trying to hang back for the draft. He never talked about it, but he's talked about it now after the season's over in the lead up to the draft.
Does that change your thoughts or feelings on him? Because what that tells you that is he was trying maybe too hard, or do you think
That's kind of the way.
I mean, you meet with nutritionists, you meet with so many people from about age 17, 18. You have those 3, 4, 5 times a year you meet, so that stuff gets in. So somebody's obviously told him wrong, or he took some information a little too far, because you can't load up on creatine and think that's good for your body. Small doses.
He had a full body cramp that sent him to the emergency room. This was before the season even started. This happened right in front of his teammates after, I guess what's described here as a Bill Self boot camp, leading into the start of practice. And so, I mean, this is the kind of thing that the entire program was silent about, Matt. I mean, they were literally silent about it. Self never said a thing about it. Peterson never said a thing about it. And the article here says, his teammates kept it private all season long out of respect for Peterson.
I've seen doctors, I've seen trainers, I've seen members of the weight staff, of the training, all those nutritional staff. I've seen every single one of those persons get fired if they harm an athlete or harm a player. If you get hurt in the weight room, man, that weight coach is in trouble. You can't be getting hurt because the nutritional staff gave you some bad advice.
This is a quote from Peterson. My roommate, Bryson Tiller, had my back. Melvin Council Jr. did as well. They would say certain stuff about it, but even they didn't know what it was. They're trying to defend you, but they don't know what to say except if he could have been out there, he would be. He's trying. He's working, unquote. Well, I just wonder, too, why wouldn't you say anything about it? I guess it's also, I mean, that's like the competitive advantage. Well, you're going to have to scout for this kid. Even if he's dealing with cramping and we don't know if he's going to play. But the whole story around him was everybody makes up their own mind when it comes to these athletes too, Matt. When it comes to somebody that, like with Nick Smith, don't you feel people made up their mind about him when he left to go to Los Angeles? Well, you're thinking, well, then all he's interested in here is the draft. He did come back and he played not at 100%. And here, I mean, automatically I just feel like people think all he's doing is saving himself for the draft. Like the same thing with the Carson Wiggins situation. You know, you hear the doctor's the one that actually said, no, the kid wants to pitch. Usually I think when it comes right down to it, competitors want to compete, right?
Yeah, everything is totally situational. And there's health comes first. You got to take care of your body. And if you don't feel right, you want to go get a second opinion, go get a second opinion. So you got to take care of yourself. I'd be weird if the kid didn't want to pitch, you know? So yeah, what's he supposed to say? That's exactly what you want him to say.
877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Well, you'd have to have that come out before the draft so that people would question whether or not you want to play.
It's kind of like with Carter Knox last year. I thought if Carter Knox was going to be a Razorback, you got to thank Coach Cal, saw everything. The loneliest spot is the guy that's hurt and can't play. That's the loneliest spot to be. So he knows that. And so how's your attitude when you're hurt and you can't play? You know, so like that, some of that goes into, because we know the talent's there. Did Coach Cal want to keep Carter, or did he think the price was too high? You know, you wonder, but we're not privy to all that information. But yeah, you got to sit down with the kid and find out what what he wants to be.
Did you ever take creatine?
Oh, I never really did supplements or protein shakes. I just, God-given ability, went out there and played.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all sorts of stuff like. Yeah, I mean, I had creatine before? Yes. Did I take it for longer than 2 weeks? No. I've never. It was just kind of.
Well, people are texting in here. They're saying, look, this is the kind of thing that you got to make sure that you're hydrating.
Think your kidneys. Yeah, the thing with creatine is it's water. So if you don't, and this is what I've been, told, I don't know, you excess water when you drink creatine because that's how it gets processed. If you drink a soda and take creatine, you're like, that's like, who's your boy, the honey badger drinking bleach? It's like kind of the same thing, like you don't drink a soda and take creatine.
It does make you wonder who's advising him in that case too, or maybe his body processes, creatine differently than somebody else. Maybe he's an outlier in that case. But even too, I mean, see here, there are people texting in that still. Be like, look, none of this matters at all,
That's why I don't know how much I believe him. That's the thing. I wonder a little bit, but you got to be into the, with the coaches and stuff. And it's that whole Steve Spurrier deal taken up for Jadeveon Clowney, saying if he never plays again, he's done amazing things. It's like, you can't badmouth your number one A-star recruit. How are you going to get the next guy next year? So it's you got to try to read between the lines what's going on.
You can't badmouth Darren Peterson. How are you going to sign Tyran Stokes? The next kid did anybody get any photos of Darren Peterson with a full arm's length of $100 bills like I saw from Stokes? See, here it is, and I mean this is what people think. Graham says, "Are we sure he wasn't menstruating?" Here's another one. It says, sounds like damage control. That's all it is. A lot of people won't believe it if they don't hear about it when it's actually happening. What are you holding on to the information for? 877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I started seeing creatine in baseball clubhouses like 26.
Wasn't Mark McGuire Androsteen the same kind of a little bit different formula, but the same kind of vein? As that was kind of what he said, that he was Androsteen or something.
Was it called Androstendione or something?
Yeah.
You could see, but he kept it up there where you could see it in the locker, and it wasn't. I don't think it was a banned substance then. I think it is now. Creatine, I know never was, but all those ball players too, man. I mean, again, this was 26, 25 years ago. The creatine and the PEDs sometimes went together.
You knew the guys on the team that were taking shots of Tess and Winstraw, and there was a handful that there was a clique. You knew. I mean, but nobody said anything about it. You didn't say this at Arkansas and Jacksonville.
877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Group hotline. You could tell.
Yeah, you kind of talk locker room talk. That's why it's a sanctuary. You don't go against the family. Like things, but you don't talk about it.
That's exactly right. They'll say things to you inside the locker room. Point, wonder. Well, it's the thing is not. Nobody even had to wonder. You all just know. Sometimes it just, especially back then, it was. I mean, the amount of finger pointing. All of a sudden, anybody just hits 7 more home runs than the year before. Well, they must be taking something. It's like what I mean. It's like people's minds get made up about athletes before you really know the story about it, and you'll make up your mind, and then this kid will say, well, it was creatine, it was causing me to cramp, and then half of the audience already has their mind made up and still won't believe him. Well, I never tried creatine, Matt. There'd be no purpose to it.
Drink lots of water.
I already do the water. Yeah. I already drink enough of the water. The whole deal with gout, and I had gout a year ago. So the one way to make sure that stuff doesn't happen again is to drink more water than you really think you're supposed to drink. And then you get 60-second breaks during baseball games, and you're sad that you drank too much water before the game started. So it's like trying to find the happy medium of some sort in there. Seth's like, well, one look at a guy's pimpled red back in the locker room, and it wasn't even just the pimpled. It was like everybody looked like they were larger than they should be.
They all looked like Ron Gant's quads.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I mean, and I thought about those quads yesterday when I mentioned Ron Gant as one of those 80s Braves, Matt. He had the quads, and he had the
forearms.
Well, he had everything. Everything looked bigger than it should have been on Gant. I don't know if he was doing something or not. The guy just looked like he was absolutely yoked. And then, Brady Anderson, Andy Mountainhome, there's Steve Finley, Nomar, and all of that. I would, usually I think like the PED and the creatine went together then. I'm not saying that's what it is now, but 25, 26 years ago, it absolutely was. Yeah, but Anderson, Andy, you're right. He was the guy that when he hit, what did he hit? 51 home runs one year? I don't think he ever hit more than 20 in a season outside of that one. It's like the Norm Cash, who, anybody remember Norm Cash, who played first base for the Detroit Tigers, won a batting title in 1961. He had 361. He did it with a he was cheating. He corked his bat. That's the only year he had a corked bat. It's the only year he ever hit over 300, I think, too. So go figure. Seth says Bo Jackson always looks better than he should have been. I don't mean to be throwing accusations around against like these great athletes that we grew up around. I was talking about in a AA baseball clubhouse, and it wasn't everybody. It was just someone. There was, there were a few in there, but that was almost like a guilty by association for all the other players. All right, before we go here on halftime, I'll remind you about Crabtree RV Center. They're in Alma. They've been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for 3/4 of a century and counting. You will always get the best RV purchasing experience at Crabtree RV Center, plus personalized financing and a top-of-the-line parts and service department where you made your purchase. It's where I-40 and I-49 come together in Alma. Crabtree RV Center makes your dreams come true at crabtreerv.com. We're back to wrap up hour number 2 of halftime in a moment.
We are the state's team.
This is halftime.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The Arkansas Department of Transportation reminds you there is zero tolerance for handheld devices in highway construction zones, which are hands-free by law. And always slow down when you see orange barrels. Help us keep road workers and drivers safe. We all want to get home at the end of the day. Just remember, slow down, phone down. It only takes a second to change your life or someone else's. This message from the Arkansas Department of Transportation, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any
Diabetes,
disease.
high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams sale and get 30% off Duration, Woodscapes, and Superdeck products May 1st through the 11th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. Make me feel so brand new. I want to spend my life with you. The same thing, baby, since we've been together.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Men's Basketball Rules Committee has released notes on a meeting they had today for Division I basketball. They're examining a move to 4 quarters, but it won't happen this next year. But here are some things that the committee says they want to focus on. The 10-second backcourt violation will occur when the shot clock reaches 19 seconds instead of 20 seconds. So is it giving you 11? I don't think it's giving you 11 necessarily. It's really giving you 10. It says it better aligns shot clocks that measure tenths of a second and improves accuracy in administering the rule. Other points of emphasis here, Matt, are a little more interesting. Officials will prioritize enforcement in post-play physicality, offensive 3-second violations, freedom of movement, and traveling. You'll be focusing on that lane pretty heavily in a number of ways.
Traveling is a thing that has gone by the wayside. To carry, it's. I mean, hey, it looks cute. I mean, everybody has that little. There's you can take 3 steps and no dribbles when you do it, and it's like, whoa, so. They're moving so fast. Those kids are so athletic. And again, you get on to being an official. It's a thankless job, man. It's a tough. Being an official is not an easy gig.
How do you think this affects the game, though, if they're going to focus on post-play physicality and freedom of movement specifically?
Well, what you're trying to do with that law, that rule, is the college game is you give it to the big guy and he just swinging his arm. You're trying to make the guys become more offensive skilled, actually have a move instead of just being a bruiser, a brute. And so that's I think that's the concept that they're trying to implement right there.
It's lessening the impact of the of the 25-year-old.
Just lowering his shoulder and just bang,
yeah, that's exactly right. So, hey, you know what that means? There's going to be more fouls called this next year. If they're focusing on enforcement of post-play physicality, there are going to be more fouls called next year, more free throws. But they're also going to focus on 3-second violations. So you get into that lane and you better get out of that lane pretty quickly. It's interesting just coming up with this. And I'm all about moving. You have an opinion on 4 quarters? Like, isn't Division I men's basketball the only form of basketball in the world that isn't 4 quarters? So bring it into the rest of the world by doing 4 quarters. And then, well, you know what that ends up dealing with? You got to please your television partners, because I think what that does is it may eliminate at some point a media timeout, maybe a commercial break. And they're not going to go for that, of course, because what are you doing when you're expanding the NCAA tournament? You're putting in more commercial breaks. I thought I read where they're actually going to be expanding the size of the actual commercial breaks in the games. So that's artificially inflating the profit for the NCAA and the member schools from the tournament, because you're already adding games, you're adding inventory, and then you're adding inventory into the games you already had. I guess people will sit there anyway because we watch the games and we watch the commercials.
How many people watch games, though, by pressing pause a little bit and then doing something? Or is basketball, football, do you still watch it live time with all the commercials? I wonder that.
Let's bring that into the next hour. Call us, text us, Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. We're into our last hour of the week right after this.
Ty Richardson from the Morning Rush, and I want to tell you what Linda, Joe, and their team are doing at Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant. Daily lunch specials come with a side and a roll, Monday through Friday from 11 to 3, just $9.99 each. Mondays is Mimi's Meatloaf. Tuesday is 3 chicken dinners. Wednesday is chicken fried steak. Thursday, Garrison Swiss chicken. And Friday, a Whippoorwill burger. 509 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant. Timeless Southern home cooking.
Hello. Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see a sunny sky. Our highs this afternoon will be into the upper 70s to right around the 80-degree mark. Later on tonight, we're looking at a chance of seeing some showers, a chance of thunderstorms. Our overnight lows will drop down into the mid to upper 50s, and then Saturday looks sunny at the high in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor. Located at 12100 Highway 71
KERX Paris,
Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
But they were one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man.
Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome into the Golden Hour here on a Friday at 1:01 on halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones and Christian Johnston producing. Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen, 15 minutes from now. Any betting questions, text them in. Lewis Automotive Group hotline 877-377-6963. Matt Jones had asked a question related to the idea that you're going to have more commercial breaks in the NCAA tournament next year. There are probably going to be more fouls called, so stoppages and games and everything. How do you watch
Do you press
games
when a commercial comes on? I press every single if the commercial comes on, I have the control. I press mute every time because a lot of times there's a little thing that says 160 seconds or what. You just kind of see how far you got to go.
I haven't gone to that point yet, but every once in a while there's an annoying commercial that I just don't want to listen to because I've heard it 85 times by now, and I've done enough baseball games where I hear all the commercials that are playing on the Razorback network, There's a couple of them I'm sick of by now, so I just put the headset down because I don't want to hear them anymore. Do you pause?
I will press pause, and if you got to go do a chore, if you got to do something, whatever you're doing, if you want to watch something else, you press pause on it, and then you come back to it 20 minutes later just to fast forward through the commercials and watch it kind of more like 100% every time.
Do you watch? Is that how you watch soccer? A Champions
Soccer,
League
there's
match?
no commercials, bro.
Okay, you're right. That's a good. I forgot about that. There are no commercials. The game is the commercial, right?
It's 45 minutes. Let's get it, and then it's a 12-minute break, and then it's 45 minutes. Let's get it.
So
you only get like 3 subs. Soccer's amazing. It's like you don't get to. It's kind of more like baseball. If they sub you out, you don't get to come back in. Yeah.
Well, do they ever split the screen on the soccer telecast where they put the commercial on one side and the game is still being played on the other?
Like they zoom in like they do in golf? No.
I've seen
No,
some
they
sports
all
that
have
do that.
they all have the logo on their jersey though. That's why they get $500 million. Man United got $500 million for Chevrolet to wear that Chevrolet logo.
Just to put the logo on the kit.
That's the commercial. Yep.
You proud of me for saying kit?
I call it a uniform, but you can
I'll
call
go
it,
boots at some point and pitch at another point.
call it whatever you want.
That's amazing. Just for putting the logo there on the jersey. You see baseball games sometimes where because it's you still get 20 seconds between pitches or anything, and they'll put a split screen on, commercial on one side and game on the other side. A lot of people texting in saying that they'll fast forward through the commercials, but so I've been watching the Pirates again because I'm sort of starting to buy into the Pirates a little bit, and you have an option on MLB.TV on my Roku television. You actually don't have the option to just pick it up live. Usually you get that option. You can pick it up live, or you can watch it from the beginning, or just catch up with the big plays. And I never pick it from the start. I always want to watch it live because I don't know what it is, Matt. It's like I've checked on the score. I've seen what the score is. I already know why the score is what it is, so I don't feel like I need to see it. There's plenty of people who will watch the entire game from the very beginning, but if I know the score, I'm not going to do that.
Same. No, I'm the same way. If I know the score, I won't do that either. You can't know the score going on. So those 20 minutes, I know this is probably for some people, you got to put your phone to the side for 20 minutes. Put it down and don't look at it all the time.
So we're going to make these NCAA basketball tournament games longer. So I'm pretty sure they're injecting more commercial time into the breaks. It's probably going to be more than 3-minute commercial breaks. What is it now? 2.5 minutes, which feels pretty long. It might be longer than that already. And then you're going to slow the game down with foul. And I'm not complaining about that either because I do think you need to have some movement, some freedom of movement in the lane and not just – well, it's like – so where's the text here that somebody had texted in about? Yeah, Seth and Fort Smith. This is the full text. I'm so glad they're going to start calling 3 in the key again. When Coach Cal had Oscar Tshiebwe at Kentucky, he literally stayed in the key the entire game, and people are wondering how does he get 15 and 27? Well, he never left the paint. And he was, he was an overpowering kind of a player too. So it takes a little bit of the influence away from the grizzled old big man. And I guess maybe it makes it a more it kind of makes it a more entertaining game, doesn't it? You see these guys do what they can do around the rim. Well, in order to get there, you got to be able to get through the big guys in the lane.
Yeah, you got to have spacing. Nowadays, though, it seems like we brought up Larry Bird a week ago or so, and Larry Bird, I don't think had a single season that he averaged more than 3 3-pointers a game. The game has changed a little bit where it's not a priority to have a back to the basket game and have a couple skill moves. It's just we're going to shoot threes, we're going to space the floor and penetrate with our guards, and big men, you set screens and you roll to the rim and get lobs and get offensive boards. That's how you score. I mean, if you were to look at Coach Cal's offense since he's been here at Arkansas, how many times does he call a play for a big guy? We don't have those plays. I'm not saying he doesn't ever do it, but 10% of the time is that's the majority of all college basketball right now.
Let your athletic players do athletic things, and people will watch. And yet think about the example that has just been set here by a big man spending 4 or 5 seconds in the lane, and it's Cal's, Oscar Tshiebwe. Chris says he remembers when Man United. Yeah, I remember they had AIG on their jersey. Mm-hmm. That was just before the meltdown in 2008. AIG. Wonder what they got from that, and wonder what they lost from that specifically.
Everton has Angry Birds 2 on their shoulder. I always thought that was funny.
You know, the thing about this focus on physicality in the post, the rules committees are generally they're made up of coaches, and you don't have this kind of change in the way the game will be officiated unless there's a groundswell of coaches that want that change. You know, one of the things the coaches talk about is how the game's gotten so old. I guess that goes along with the grizzled big man, and so they must be the coaches that advocate for the way that changes. Anyway, it came out a little bit ago. This is the same group that recommends expanding the tournament to 70 to 76. So some good decisions and some decisions that aren't so good, I guess too. It's amazing to think about them expanding this tournament, Matt. And I don't see anybody saying good things about it. Aaron Torres was with us in the first hour. I think he put something like a 95-5. You know, like 95% negative reaction, 5% positive reaction. I don't even know if I feel 5% positive reaction. It's all negative. If somebody can show me where somebody's had a positive reaction, but it's like earlier in the show, I reached on purpose. I'm trying to find how this is good for basketball, because it's not even good for the mid-major teams that get advantage of this, Matt, because I think so many of the mid-major teams that end up in this terrible 12 are conference champions that don't even get to play in the real tournament that everybody accepts as the real tournament once you get to the round of 64. So even where I come in on this, I don't think they're expanding for those programs. They're expanding for SEC teams and the Big Ten teams. But still, it's the conference champion of the SoCon or the Patriot League or the MEAC that will have some great run in tournament week, championship week, and then they'll be sent as one of the 8 different 16 seeds, to the terrible 12.
And as a player, and that's kind of the view I take on most things. You want to play, you want to compete, you want to have a chance, you want to win. All the other stuff, you kind of hoopla. It's whatever, but you want to. I think that they're messing up by just if you're going to have one big tournament, have 128 teams, and let's go to battle. If not, there's no. Why can't you have 2 cups? Why can't you have 2 tournaments? And then you get into the thing that are bowl games now. There's going to be some kids that want to get in the portal, but that are going to the next level. So yeah, then now you're trying to figure out how do we get a roster. So it's kind of they've kind of done this to themselves a little bit. But you want to play because it's going to end. Sports is a young man's game, and a lot of these kids, it's the last time they're ever going to compete and do anything like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know there's an option. We could go play over here, but we don't want to go play. That just doesn't make sense in my mind.
877-377-6963 if you'd like to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We'll have Neil Atkinson with us in just a moment. Our guests all week long are brought to you by Swift's Jewelry in downtown Fayetteville. That's where you go if you're popping the question or celebrating an anniversary, looking for something special like for Mother's Day. Swift's is the place to go, right next to Hugo's on Block Avenue, where they've been since 1956 as a trusted name. Swift specializes in custom jewelry and engagement rings. Also offer expert watch repair, so you'll always stay on time. That's Swift's Jewelry on the Town Square in Fayetteville, swiftsjewelry.com if you want to get a look online. Swift's Jewelry, celebrating life's biggest moments. Neil Atkinson from Bet Sarazen joining halftime after this.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis
Tommy
Auto-
Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
From sauce to dust to nuggets. Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. No, they don't come in mild. That would make like 0 sense with the name. Or the whole explosion thing we just did. New Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with the free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
What's the point of oh, hey, what's your favorite song? Maybe we could. Well, I think sweet thing. Tell me your
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
BetSaracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. If you want to put a little wager on your favorite sporting event, you got BetSaracen on your iPhone. If you download from the App Store, if you're an Android user, it's on Google Play, BetSaracen.com on any web browser, but make sure you are within the state of Arkansas to use BetSaracen. And Neil Atkinson is the Senior Director of Gaming Operations at Saracen Casino and BetSaracen, and he joins us here on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. Good afternoon, Neil. Happy May 8th. How you doing today?
Doing really, really good. Kind of been keeping us on our toes with the weather that's coming in and the moving of the baseball games, and especially with the in-state teams. But yeah, just getting ready for a good weekend with the last weekend of the SEC. Getting ready for the SEC tournament next week. Covering and we're covering the SEC softball tournament. And, of course, unfortunately, the ladies went out yesterday against Alabama, but we'll be covering the rest of that. And, of course, we'll cover the Softball College World Series just like we do the Baseball World Series. But, yeah, it keeps us busy this year because there's a lot of different sports in play with playoffs, with the hockey and NBA. And of course, Major League Baseball has been, as always, the pillar of this time of year also going into summer. And WNBA starts tonight. It just seems like it never ends.
No, it doesn't. You know, and you got Arkansas and Oklahoma playing each other here, Neil, and it just feels like why has it taken to this point for them to play each other? I was brought this up with Matt earlier in the show. You got real rivalries with all the states that surround Arkansas except Oklahoma, and it is about time. I mean, it really is.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I've maybe that's why they put this series as the last one of the year to try to start that. But you know, with so many teams in the SEC now, and with you just play so many conference series during the year, they've got the rotation. It's just going to be interesting. And if this conference ever expands, I mean, does the matchups go infrequently, or do they start going into like 4 divisions? Who knows? But it's just the college landscape, and money's pushing it between NIL and transfer portal and all that. But hey, really looking forward to this series this weekend. I mean, it's a big one. I think they both come in with identical 12-11 conference records, if I'm not mistaken. So this conference, I mean, this series definitely means something for seeding in the SEC tournament, and I think both teams still have an outside shot at maybe getting a regional at home. A lot has to happen for that to happen for either one of the teams, but if we can make that happen and make sure that these are not the last 3 games we see in Fayetteville this year, that would be great.
I know it's a bummer. Softball got knocked out of the SEC softball tournament, but you guys have been in on softball for a while now. It's still we're the only betting app that had softball. I think it was a week ago, and with the NCAA tournament coming up, and I'm assuming they're going to be top 8 national seed. I think people will be pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now during the regular season of the year, we only cover Arkansas softball because that's really that we've had all the demand for. Now it was funny, the last 2 weeks of the season we start getting requests for other teams, but we told everybody that we would cover every game of the SEC tournament, and that's what we're doing. And and they should, they're going to get a regional, and they should host a super regional. So we hope they extend that season all the way, and of course make it to the softball World Series there in Oklahoma also. So I can't, I hope they go far, and that's one of the things that we just do well. We cover local, and we also try to cover the SEC postseasons just about anywhere.
Knicks and Sixers, Spurs and Timberwolves take center stage tonight on BetSaracen. Got the Sixers favored 1.5. Spurs favored -4.5. Pistons and Cavs, Thunder and Lakers. Those series have gone pretty much, very much chalk at the moment here, Neil. Do people with the connection with the Thunder Lakers series with Arkansas natives and then Thero with the Lakers, has that had a little bit of extra, or is that just kind of like normal for everybody?
Well, yeah, for Oklahoma City's been good for several years now, and of course people like betting on winners, and then when you have the Arkansas connection, it just compounds it for us. And, they haven't lost a game this postseason yet. I mean, they're 6-0, and they took care of business against the Lakers last night. I know that game was interesting last night, and I just was watching the recaps all this morning. I watched the game last night, but I was just watching the recap this morning and, talking about all the officiating. But at the end of the day, the Lakers have lost by 18 points both games. And Thunder has easily covered the spread. I was kind of mad when I saw the spread this morning. I know Oklahoma City's got to go to the Lakers tomorrow night, and Oklahoma City's only an 8.5-point favorite. So I got a feeling our Arkansas bettors and our Oklahoma City folks are going to be all over that. Of course, it's the postseason; anything can happen. But this may look like another sweep, depending on how this next game goes with the Lakers. But tonight you got the Knicks and the 76ers. That one's more competitive. My models are conflicting on that one. I got the Knicks winning by 6 in one model, and then in the other model, I've got the Philadelphia winning by 1 point. So that one should be a really, really good game tonight. And then the Spurs and the Timberwolves. I mean, I know the Minnesota took game one, but then the Spurs came back and won by 38 the next night. So I've got the Spurs winning 110-106 in one model and 107-104 tonight. There might be a little value in the Minnesota money line at plus 145, but people are just. I mean, on our platform. I mean, it's about on the weekends about 60% of all the bets are on these NBA finals.
Hey, I think you and I may have discussed this during March Madness about how the handle for the first four does sort of mirror the television ratings, comparably to what people view as the opening games of the tournament, which are Thursday and Friday. So with that idea, does the sports betting industry have a position on expansion of the NCAA tournament? Because I just figure, some of these teams would be in the NIT. If they, this last year, and I wonder, do people still, is the handle on the NIT, something that's comparable at all to March Madness? And would bettors follow those teams to whatever you're going to call this new round of 12?
I can tell you this. The betting on the NIT absolutely pales in comparison to what we do in the NCAA tournament. Unless your local team, like if Arkansas was in the NIT, then it would, or Arkansas State or something like that got in the NIT. That would just be, situational to that 1 year. But if you look at the NIT betting and the college basketball crown, and compare it to the NCAA, it's a rounding error as far as the amount of action that we take compared to the NCAA tournament. So, from a bookmaker perspective, that means more meaningful games, and if people are going to start watching that from the very, very beginning. If it extends the tournament an extra week, from the bookmaker position, the more games that mean something that bring attention, we're all for it. And to be honest with you, I like it because more games means it diversifies. So if you have a team like Arkansas, which is highly ranked, and at least I will have other action if they win big and are going to be a huge liability for me. The other games will offset. That just spreads out the liabilities for the bookmaker. So we are all for it because it's going to have the attention. It has the pageantry of the NCAA tournament. It is on mainstream. I mean, it's going to be on your main channels that we're all used to watching on the NCAA tournament. You don't have to worry about streaming and off nights. And it sounds like we're going to have basketball just about every night of the week when the tournament starts. So from the sports betting industry, we're all for it.
So would that also translate to any other sport, more postseason games? is good for the sports betting industry, and maybe you can view it as just as good for the sports bettor specifically?
Well, it's sports betting. I mean, sports betting is hard. I don't know if it would be good for the sports bettor and your money management.
Sure.
But yeah, because I mean, you're gonna be spreading your wallet, across a longer tournament, and it is, a perfect bracket contest is going to be. It's already impossible. How much more impossible is a perfect bracket contest going to be now? But we'll still do some things, and maybe with the extra teams, we'll be able to do different payouts on things of that nature with the brackets. But other than that, yeah, anytime that you have postseason and you extend the postseason and you have more teams in the postseason and meaningful games, yeah, we're from a bookmaking perspective, we're for it, because people bet what they can see on TV and they bet what they know, and everybody likes betting in a tournament form, because during the regular season people kind of bet on their favorite team and teams in the league that they're familiar with. Once you get to the postseason, everybody's thrown into the mix, and and people like to, if their teams are in it, they like to bet them. So it just the more games are always good for the bookmaker, because heck, if we have a bad week, more games the next week, that just puts that money back into play. So it's no secret, all of our promotions and the things that we do is to entice you to come to the site and make a bet. And that just works into our playbook on how we like to run our business.
BetSaracen works on your iPhone if you download from the App Store. Android users use Google Play. BetSaracen.com on any web browser. Make sure you check out the promotions link and the specials. It's right there when you open it up. And you got to be inside the state of Arkansas to use BetSaracen. Neil, always appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. And hopefully you get to make some fun calls like you did last Sunday at the end of the game. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just put it away earlier and we don't have to worry about it. But go Hogs this weekend. Good luck on all of your parlays. Just remember, with all this going on, bet with your head and not over it. Keep that sports betting fun and entertaining. And do not forget to check our promo page. And if you're a baseball bettor, opt in for the Bring Home the Bacon. And if Arkansas wins the series this weekend, you can get a rebate. Good luck, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Home stretch of the golden hour on a Friday. Our Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open, 877-377-6963. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Keep you in the right direction if I can, but that's all. Just follow the money.
This is Halftime.
Hey, Hog fans, Phil Elson here for Bath Makeover of Arkansas. And they started with 50. Now they're looking for 30 homes to participate in their Spring Into Savings event and receive test market pricing on a beautiful new walk-in shower. Bath Makeover is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics, and they want to evaluate their exciting new product lines in real bathrooms, including revolutionary laser-etched shower wall systems. You'll be compensated for your time just to determine if their exquisite product lines are the right fit for your bathroom project. The first 30 homeowners who call 1-800-NEW-BATH receive 50% off installation of a new walk-in shower. Ask about 0% interest financing, senior and military discounts. Receive a $200 gas card with purchase and call Bath Makeover of Arkansas at 1-800-NEW-BATH for a $50 Walmart gift card with your free in-home estimate. 1-800-NEW-BATH. That's 1-800-NEWBATH.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cole Johnson with River Valley Smile Center. If you're hiding your smile because of chipped, stained, or uneven teeth, or you feel like your smile doesn't reflect how you feel inside, our dental team is here to help. We offer a variety of cosmetic and restorative dental services, from custom veneers to full mouth rehabilitation. We take pride in combining clinical precision with an artistic eye to help you feel confident and comfortable every step of the way. It's time to love your smile again. Call 479-646-0706 or visit rivervalleysmiles.com to set up your consultation. Let's create the smile you've always wanted.
The Roar E dirt bikes are unleashed, and they're ripping up everything you thought you knew about power. Instant torque that snaps your head back, silent speed that hits before you hear it. No gas, no gears, just pure electric domination. Twist it and hold on. Trail, track, street, doesn't matter. These machines are built to shred. Ready to go full throttle without the noise? Get your hands on a Roar E dirt bike today at Wheeler Power Sports. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967 in downtown Fort Smith.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Brad Howe in Van Buren or call Ryan Hughes in Fort Smith.
It's Kubota Orange Day sales event at Gray Brothers in Fort Smith and Poto. Whenever you're ready, we're ready with Kubota equipment in stock. Hay equipment to zero-turn mowers and Kubota tractors, from the small subcompact DX up to the large Kubota M7 cab tractor and everything in between. Why wait? When at Gray Brothers, it's in stock and on sale. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a limit.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Let's get back to the show with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We've assigned Barbarella to the unit for halftime homework for the weekend, if he can make it through any of it. I think it'll be a challenge for you, unit, since it is the weirdest movie ever made. Halftime homework brought to you by Flyway Brewing Company. That's the place for a great weekday lunch spot in Fayetteville, or a place to host a lunch meeting that will impress. Flyway Brewing Company has a fantastic lunch menu, plenty of space for private dining, And, of course, if you're thinking Flyway, fresh beer, cold, crisp, and ready when the workday wraps up. Thinking a big game you got? Well, Arkansas and Oklahoma, they're going to have it on the big screen today at Flyway Brewing Company. Great food, fresh beer, all the action. Flyway Brewing Company in Fayetteville on Zion Road. Make it your next stop. And then the first 1,000 people that come through the gates today for this game will get a vinyl album of Hawaiian Heat, which is the Hawaiian Hammer song that I know I heard played on the Morning Rush today a couple of times at the top of the hour. And I don't think I've ever been at a ballpark where a vinyl album was the giveaway. And that's exactly the way I started listening to music. That and 8-tracks. I haven't seen anybody give away an 8-track or a cassette tape, for that matter. Maybe did some CD giveaways, back in the day. But this one's new, Matt. It's like an Audiophiles perfect giveaway. Is an actual vinyl album, but they have to like the Hawaiian music that goes along with it, too.
Well, that's pretty cool. Will the Sooner fans, are they eligible to get one of those albums?
Good question. Oh, if any of them are the first 1,000, I bet you they'd get one.
They should be.
They should, of course. No, these. I don't think that Arkansas promotions are as petty as the Missouri promotional staff was. They did not give to the Arkansas faithful that actually formed about half the crowd at the Mizzou Baseball Series 2 weeks ago, the Missouri Masters hat. That I think you would get your. Here's the other thing too: is like the Oklahoma red and the Arkansas red. I can't tell the difference between the two. And what is Arkansas's is cardinal, Oklahoma's is crimson, but they may actually have the same Pantone number. Let me do a little research on this for you here. Oklahoma, because I did this.
Oklahoma to me is closer to Indiana's. Yeah, Wisconsin's a little brighter because the Crimson Tide, you got to think they're in Indiana's sometimes be a little red, but it is definitely a darker burgundy. Oklahoma is really close to Alabama, I would think. Yeah.
Okay, so there may be there's a difference between the reds here. The numbers aren't exactly the same, but they're pretty close to it. They are pretty close to it. Well, I don't know. I don't have a vinyl album player to actually take this Hawaiian Hammer album and bring it home, but I could send it to my parents because they still have the same vinyl record player that I grew up listening to. I think they bought this thing in the 80s. And who knows the last time they actually bought a needle for the thing, but I know they still listen to some of those old albums. Matt, I don't know many people who have an appreciation for music like you do, but do you have a vinyl?
Two of them.
You got, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I listened to an album the other day when we put together some chairs, put on Billy Joel's Greatest Hits. It's a two-sided album, two vinyls album, and listen to that. Just switch it over when it stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, that is something that always brings back some memories of me by myself down in the entertainment center in my parents' house, listening to. And for some reason, this is always the album I think of, is Elton John's double album, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Always, yeah, put that one on all the time. They didn't have the album player where you had the two that you would stack on top of each other and had that little lever that would hold the second one up. And then when the first one was done, it would drop it down and then play it. That was like automatic DJing in the 70s. There was some, real technologically advanced stuff. 877-377-6963. Looking at some of the texts here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Yeah. Jason asks, is Barbarella weirder than A Clockwork Orange? Now, you didn't see Barbarella, Matt, but I think you've seen Clockwork Orange, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's about as weird of a movie as there is.
American Psycho is one of the weirdest movies. It's the greatest comedy of the 21st century is how I look at it. But yeah, Clockwork Orange is pretty out there.
The thing about Clockwork Orange is that I think of the term ultra violence. And I don't think of that term if I'm thinking Barbarella. I'm thinking more like ultra sexuality in that in the Barbarella movie. Truthfully, I mean, in the trailer, she's undressing herself. Clockwork Orange was way different than that. So I'd say it's weirder than A Clockwork Orange, and it is a lot less violent. There's violence in it, but it's, it's like space laser violence, not, well, the kind of violence you saw in A Clockwork Orange, Jason. If you think that was the weirdest movie of all time, I'm not going to tell you it wasn't, but it may be one of the most ultra-violent movies of all time. Is that the right term, do you think, for it, Matt? For what they do in that
Clockwork
thing?
Orange is mean to be mean. I've kind of seen some of the behind the scenes or listening to them talk about it. And some of the scenes, yeah, it's just being a punk to be mean. It's one of the first movies where you like see a rape scene. And you're like, whoa, that was a little intense right there.
It was as intense as it got. That's another movie that it's difficult to make it through. But it's not because it's a bad movie. Like Barbarella is a bad movie. Barbarella is a terrible movie. I love that I'm assigning Christian here like an absolutely horrendous movie to see if he can make it through it. A Clockwork Orange is an amazing movie where if you can make it through it, then you can deal with some pretty awful stuff on the screen. Yes, and Josefa knows the book was even more intense. Isn't that what all the smart people always say? It's like the book is always more intense than everything else. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tony's here. He's in Perryville. He's called us. What's up, Tony? How are you?
Good, sir. It's a pleasure talking to you and Mr. Jones. I called, and I hope it was taken as constructive criticism before, but I want to give you 5 stars on the review. You're doing good, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. What's up? But what else you got?
That's about it. Just taking the dog to the vet so I can spend money.
Well, you're taking the dog to the vet because you love the dog. The money's just a side product of that.
Yeah, true, but it's not my dog.
Well, now we're talking to something different. Sounds like you've been roped into doing someone else's responsibility. But
yeah,
you're a good person.
Babysitting.
Yeah, you're
All
a good man.
Hey, I
Thanks.
appreciate you, man. Love listening to you. Y'all have a good one.
Well, I appreciate your phone call. Thank you. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I don't even remember what it was I was going to bring up next. Steve says the White Sox blew vinyl up. They did blow vinyl up, but they didn't end vinyl. The White Sox blew up. They ended disco. Vinyl kept going for a while after demolition after disco demolition night. What year was that? 79, 78 or 79? That coincides with the end of the death of disco, but it wasn't the death of vinyl. Vinyl died in the late 80s when CDs really started coming out. And I don't know, it's like there was something about going and buying a vinyl album that is, even though the CD has liner notes and it's still, a big, round circle and everything, it wasn't quite the same. There must be, Matt, there just has to be something about the scratch of the vinyl album that makes it stand out. And it smelled a little differently than the CD did. You can't feel. Do you feel the same way about CDs as vinyl albums? I don't.
Well, I like artists that make albums, that make a production, not that. And yeah, sure, there's the single that's going to be a pop single or whatever that you're getting into, but that's all nowadays. It's you make a single and they download it as many. But you want them to make 10 songs, 12 songs, and have it kind of have a start, a middle, and a finish, and be a project. And people make music in different ways, and people consume things in different ways.
The one way that really doesn't sound good, because CDs sound fine, the albums sound great, vinyl albums sound great, it's those cassette tapes that got worn down, and you get the whistle sound on one of them. There was some hey, Duran Duran, the name Duran Duran Band comes from the Barbarella movie. Like, there was a Duran Duran album I had on cassette tape named Arena, which was just their live. There was all live versions of their popular songs. I listened to that cassette tape so much that you stopped being able to hear the music, and all you heard was a whistle on the thing. No, there are no whistles on these little MP3 things that we get nowadays. But there's also nothing that's like nostalgic about looking on your phone and saying, yeah, I love that song and that album's great. Whatever your phone smells like, it's not going to smell as good as the vinyl album does, that's for sure. Yeah, Disco Demolition Night, Chris. It ended. It really did end disco. That is the end of disco. There were some more disco albums that came out after that, but I don't think many people listened to them. Vinyl albums had another 9 or 10 years or something like that. Oh, there was that whole process of putting them on. You know, you had that special like soft brush to make sure that there weren't any little specks of dust that might, knock off your needle. You had to make sure the needle didn't have dust on it, then lower it down very, very carefully. Of course, some of you had the buttons where it would lower the needle down for you very carefully. And then what were your 3 speeds? 33, 45, and 78. And it was really fun to try to listen to Elton John on 78. That was like Alvin the Chipmunks, on an acid trip pretty much. 877-377-6963 to get with us as we close up halftime for the week right after this break.
We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog.
This is halftime. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Busy season is here, and C2 Supply is ready to keep you stocked and moving. Whether you're tackling big jobs or everyday work, they've got the supplies to keep you running smoothly. From hard-to-find items to everyday essentials, their team is here to help you get what you need fast. Stop by C2 Supply, 602 North Broadway in Poto, or give them a call at 918-647-0430. C2 Supply, keeping your jobs moving all season long, and let them see to your supply needs.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Auto Park has the best used cars in town. We take more trades than anyone. One look at the variety and quality of our selection proves it. All makes and models. One owner trades, corporate leases, executive demos. Get top dollar for your trade. Keep the cash or use it to upgrade. Possibly lower your payment. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, Orr Auto Park is the place to look. Go to OrrAutoPark.com to find your next vehicle.
You'll always get more at Orr. Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
Who draws the crowd and plays so loud? Baby, it's the guitar man. Who's gonna steal the show? You know, baby, it's the guitar man. He can make you love, he can make you cry. He will bring you down and he'll get you high. Something keeps him going miles and miles a day to find another place to play.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Matt's halftime playlist today has been outstanding. He's gotten a lot of compliments on the text line about it. And the halftime playlist is always brought to you by Bath Makeover of Arkansas. Tired of climbing over an old, outdated bathtub or cleaning and maintaining a tile shower? Get a hold of Bath Makeover of Arkansas. They have the solution for you. Tub to shower conversion is a popular choice for easier access. Expert installation in as little as 1 day, 5-year workmanship warranty, and 3 showrooms around the state of Arkansas to show you what they've got in Little Rock, in El Dorado, and in Harrison. BathMakeoverAR.com or 1-800-NEW-BATH, 1-800-NEWBATH. Still have room for 30 homes for the Spring and a Savings event. You get half off installation of a bathtub or shower, 0% interest financing options, and a $200 gas card with bathtub or shower purchase. That's Bath Makeover of Arkansas. Let's see. Wrapping up things for the week. First pitch is coming up in a little more than 2 hours. If you hadn't heard, baseball's moved to 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then a 2 o'clock game tomorrow. Should be a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, but Sunday looks potentially rainy. So I'm wondering if they may make another schedule change for the weekend. And see if we get this thing done in 2 days or get it done in 3 days. Ooh, here's another good weird movie, Krull from Graham and Prairie Grove. Now, Krull was a game that involved, what was that, a guy that threw like these big kind of almost Chinese stars looking things. They turned it into a video game. That was another. The 80s had some really weird movies. Still nothing will get anything weirder than Barbarella. Howard the Duck. Hey, that'd be a good weird one.
I've seen that one. Yeah, that was pretty good.
That one defines weird, but it's got Lee Thompson in it, so that automatically makes it very, very good. Is she on the mid list? Did we get that? Did we know if she's on the mid list or not for unit? Lee Thompson. She's Marty McFly's mom. So the answer really, just go ahead and say no, she's not on the mid list, and I think we'll just go ahead and agree with you about that 100%. Good answer. That is the absolute right answer. Oh, look, we get the NFL schedule released Thursday next week.
Lottery Sunday. NBA.
The NBA lottery Sunday, huh? Well, the NHL just had their lottery. The Leafs got the first pick. Who's got the best odds for the lottery this time?
Ooh, every time you look at a draft, I think there's 3 or so teams with like 14% chance. Maybe the Wizards might have the best odds.
Yeah, Wizards had the worst record. You're right, 17-65, but still, they've got injured all-star veterans that are ready to come back for them at some point next year, right? Don't they have Trae Young and Anthony Davis?
I like both those pieces. Those are nice. Those are nice pieces.
And they may end up with the top overall pick as well, which who knows who that's going to be. Well, great stuff. It's been a fun week. It's been a very interesting week, that's for sure. Next week will be my last week on halftime, and want to make it enjoyable and entertaining and fun, which is pretty much what we've been doing anyway. So, Matt, I hope you have a great weekend. I know you will.
Let's go baseball.
Let's go baseball. That's right. 4 o'clock, 3:30 airtime on many of these stations. Unit, enjoy Barbarella. I would say I know you will, but I don't really know if you will. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will come out shortly, thanks to the one and only C Unit, Ruskin and Zach. Well, it's Ruskin and Colton that are getting ready in just a few moments as well. And we'll be with you on Monday, so go have yourself a great weekend.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon.